Please welcome to the Slip and Dip podcast, making his Slip and Dip debut. One of the best boxers in the world, the WBA, IBF, IBO, light middleweight champion, Mr. Jarrett Swift Hurd. Thanks for coming to the show, Jarrett, man. Been trying to get you on for a minute.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you guys having me.
How excited are you for this J-Rock fight that you got coming up in a couple weeks?
Super excited, man. You know, this is my homecoming. I haven't fought at home since 2014, and you know, becoming a world champion. I'm pretty sure that's every fighter's dream to defend their titles in their hometown. So, you know, I'm counting down the days, man. I could be more excited.
Would we say that you're more pumped up for this fight than your last fight? I don't want to say it was a sparring session, but it was crazy watching the fight. It was like you were like literally practicing in a real fight, and the dude got a little too competitive, and you like, no, bro, let's shut this down and get him out of here. Because I remember he caught you with a straight right, and you like, oh, I gotta hit this real quick. Is that how it happened? Because I look like for the things like you were working on some stuff. It's like he didn't get the memo. He was coming trying to win. He's like, I gotta go and hit this real quick.
All right. I mean, I wouldn't say that I wasn't excited for my last fight. You know, it was on maybe, if not arguably, the biggest card of 2018. You know, the undercard of Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. So I was happy to fight, you know, on pay-per-view and on the fight on that magnitude. But, you know, it's something different about fighting in your hometown. You know, so I wouldn't say I was more excited for that fight, but I'm definitely more excited for this one. And you know, Jason Wilborn was a tough guy. Was coming off surgery. We didn't want to get a guy that was going, be too tough. And I just want to work the left hand. And when you come with that right hand on the ropes, I said, all right, listen, Jared, it's time to get this fight over with.
How did it feel in there? After the surgery and everything, how did everything feel?
Felt good. You know, we just wanted to test the left hand out. We wanted to not just go out there and blast the guy. We wanted to get a few rounds in. Like you said, man, kind of like in sparring when you want to work on things. But, you know, I didn't plan on getting hit that much. That's something I kind of do lack in my defense. But, you know, something we've been working on. But, you know, I had to get the fight over with too soon because I couldn't let him get too much off.
We see. Are you at your parents' house? Is that where you stay at still?
Yeah, man, I'm in the crib right now. Mom's house.
So tell people about that. Like, you're a world champion, but you still, like, you don't just give back to the community. You live in it, and still, it's the only thing that's happened is you got more money and more belts.
Exactly, man. You know, I was just always this guy growing up. You know, I always looked at myself of somehow being the big lights and making it out here. You know, making a lot of money and things like that. And I always told myself, the first money I touch isn't my money, man. I want to use them coins to invest, you know, to have money coming in. You know, there's a lot of people that make this money and sit on top of it, don't make investments or smart decisions. And next thing you know, they look up, they don't have anything left in their bank account. So, you know, just for me staying in my parents' house was just a thought from me and making investments first and not having a house mortgage or nothing like that. And, you know, I didn't plan on staying here that long, but, you know, it's been working for me, man. My next door neighbor's my cook. You know, I come home to home-cooked meals. My little brother also stays here, so he's a great help. When I leave something at home, I can just call him. Man, drop something off for me. You know, it works all around for me. It's been working for me so far, so I might as well stick with it until I'm really ready.
How much of that support do you have during fight week? I see Team Hurd in Beverly Hills. I saw them in L.A. They were everywhere during fight week last week for the during the Wilder Fury fight. So you got full support. They came to the West Coast and showed up and showed out.
Oh, yeah, I got a traveling team that come with me, man. No matter where I'm fighting at, they're going to be there. My family is a big support system for my career. You know, when I used to fight in New York or if I fight in Philly, anywhere drivable, we always get a bus load, you know, 2 or 3 buses that drive down and come to my fights and things like that. So, you know, my support team from here is great. I only can imagine how we fill out the Fairfax Eagle Bank Arena in Fairfax, you know, because they don't have to follow me too far for this when they go all be there.
And with you being a family man and probably you got some other people like, what are you doing still living at home? I know you're not broke, brother. When you see something like Nipsey Hussle, what he tried to do out in the West Coast, that kind of like validate, hey, I'm doing the right thing, because you kind of do it on a whole different level, so to speak, on the East Coast.
Right, man. You know, I just look at it as I want to give back opportunities because growing up, I didn't have the biggest amateur career, and I needed all the help I could get. And amateur is kind of like college football. You do well in college football when you make it to the draft and you get accepted. It's easier chance you get accepted in the NFL. So it's the same with boxing. If you do well in the amateurs, promoters and big time managers and things like that want to pick you up. I didn't do that well in the amateurs. I didn't have a big career. Every time I saw fighters on high levels from the area, like Gary Russell's or Tony the Tiger Thompson, guys like that, I wanted them to reach out to me and put me on to do some things like that. So now that I'm in that position, any opportunity I get with reaching out to community book bags, giveaways, shouting guys out on social media, showing up at events, whatever I can do, man, to be a big part of the community, I do, because now I'm in that position to do it once when I wanted that help.
That's awesome, man. Where does that come from? Like that whole mentality of wanting to, be that humble. Was there a specific example that you like look towards and be like, I'm not messing up like that guy? Where did that come from?
I wouldn't say that it was a certain person or guy that I looked at and saw his mistakes and said, "Oh, nah, that ain't gonna be me." It's a accumulation of a whole bunch of things. Like I said, knowing that this was an opportunity given to me by my parents, saying that I was in college in Southern Maryland trying to follow the United Firehouse and working at Safeway before I actually became professional, and I dropped all that for the sport. So knowing that I let go of some type of security, what I had, to follow a dream that may or may not happen, I wanted to make sure it happened. I gave it my all, and and I just saw the struggle I went through, and knowing that this is all I had, and it was no plan B for me. I just wanted to be the guy now to help out those guys that had the same situation.
Don't you have a degree?
No degree yet, man. No degree yet. I always told myself I plan on going back, but I don't know now.
It gets harder. It gets harder when that bank account keeps getting bigger. And you get
there you go,
right?
That's a great problem now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So it's looking like at the landscape of boxing, like where do you see like yourself amongst like the guys out there like that are like the pay-per-view stars? I mean, how far away do you see yourself being like that type of guy that can grab like that A-side spotlight, be like that main event, bringing in all these huge pay-per-view buys and being that guy that's like on the top of the sport?
Man, I see that happening within next year. You know what I mean? To be honest, I think become an undisputed champion of my weight class, 154-pound division, I think that'll be a big help, and I feel like that is right around the corner for me. I already have 2 belts, and there's talks now that, I could be fighting for the WBC pretty soon, where the winner of Jamel Charlo and Tony Harrison, they got a rematch, and I'm looking forward to fight one of those guys. And after I win the WBC, it's only one more to go, and I feel like the becoming the undisputed champion 154 is definitely a step to making me a pay-per-view star.
How big a deal do you want that Charlo fight? It's been talked about for like 3 years, probably since y'all both got to with PBC. Everybody's been wanting to see that fight. And then, I ain't gonna say he dropped the ball, but he had the crazy decision. And you kind of like in the catbird seat, because it's like, you gonna be there. It's like, is he gonna be there?
He messed up the money. Nah, man. What it is, though, it's almost like this. It's like, after the Harrison fight, when I won the IBF, me and him became boys. We got a cool level. It was a mutual respect between us, and him coming to win in WBC was a big monkey wrench thrown in the whole Hurd and Charlo thing, because that was my Floyd Manny Pacquiao fight, Hurd versus Charlo. And once Tony Harrison won, everybody would look. A smart man would look at that and say, "Oh man, go grab WBC. You already beat Tony Harrison. Just go ahead and grab it." But to be honest with you, Tony, my boy, I kind of want Jamel Charlo to win, because it's still going to be a lot of questions needed to be answered if the Hurd Charlo fight never happens. So I want that fight to happen more. If the rematch supposed to be in June, I'm rooting for Charlo to win, because I'd rather fight him than have a rematch with Tony Harrison.
Are you ready to shut up all these critics and these these street boxing gangsters that be on these websites and on the YouTubes with these videos talking crazy?
There you go, man. That's exactly why, man. Because I know what went over Tony Harris, and they gonna say, "Man, you already be here. We knew that was gonna happen. We knew that was gonna happen." But the whole Charlo Hurd thing is still be up in the air, and everybody asks a question. So I want to shut them up, like you said. That's why I rather the Charlo Hurd fight happen.
If you want to beat Jamel, would you go up and fight Jamal?
That's the plan, man. Look, I got it all mapped out. It's gonna be once I beat Jamel, it's gonna be redemption. I'm gonna be moving up to 160 soon anyway. So I'm gonna be like, you want redemption? Where the big brother at? Let's get it.
So you want all the smoke then?
Yeah, I want all the smoke, man. It's like it's almost like I can see the future, how it all playing out.
So how far down the road do you look? Like, it seems like you got the plan for at least like the next year. So like, how far does this notebook go so far?
It's definitely looking. I can see me in 160 right now, you know. And right now, especially on the PB side, Al Heyman side, I know the Jamal Charlo fight would be easier to make than all the other fights with the zone and the guy. Because beyond what you, the zone got both of the 160 pounders. So those are fights that have to be discussed and a lot more tough on the business side. And I see a fight with Jamal Charlo being much easier. So I feel like that'd be the fight I'll be built up to happen. And it just makes perfect sense for the whole, after I beat the younger brother, the big brother try to come say today.
I know you got your beef with the Charlos. Would you play your cards right? Do you want to try to get a Canelo fight somewhere down the line? I know with all the politics, it's gonna be hard. But
right.
But he's only a weight class above you. And the thing for me, he's a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a guy if you be around him. But can he fight somebody in his own age bracket? He always the younger cat in this fight. Right. And they want to say he's the best of his generation. Well, he didn't fight nobody in his generation. Who is he fighting in his generation? I need to find that guy. I haven't seen him fight nobody in his generation. He ain't fought you, either Charlo. Danny Jacobs is the first time person kind of remotely, like a arm's reach.
That's the thing, man. That's why I say it's a big must that I have to become an undisputed champion here at 154 because it's going to make a lot of sense with those big fights when I move up to 160 to be made. And, we'll have to see. That is a big fight that I would love to have against Canelo. Triple G, Danny Jacobs, all those guys. I love to fight them. Demetrius Andre. It's plenty of work up there for me in 160. 154-pound division is pretty much cleared out, so I can't wait for those fights to happen.
Here's the two-part question. How much do you cut to get to 154? Because you're a big 154 pounder. And also, how much did you grow from the fight with Lar? Because a lot of people had the scores all over the board, but to me, that's the best all-around Jarrett Hurd. You went through some adversity, and when the money was on the table, you went and got that thing.
Right, yeah, man. I to this day, I still don't see how the judges had that close. In the fight, I didn't feel like it was that close. And when I came back home and watched, I didn't feel like it was that close. I said maybe I feel a little biased because it's me, but you know what I mean. I just didn't see it being that close. But everything in Laurel, that was my toughest match so far. That's the hardest I've ever been hit in the ring by a fighter so far. And man, like I said, the thing that killed me too is that people tried to make the excuse that Laurie didn't have his legs no more. He's getting to that age, but they didn't want to give me the benefit of the doubt that I was the reason why. The fights before that, Arizona Laurie was the best thing walking. Decorated amateur. All his losses was controversy. Some people saying he won this fight with Canelo. Some people saying he didn't really lose other fights. And then moment I fight him, they say, man, his leg's gone. But it's all good, man. All I can do is speak and believe and receive it, man. When the world sees it, they see it.
One of the things that's interesting to me, like in boxing in particular, is all of the politics that goes on behind the scenes. And like you've mentioned already, multiple times, you mentioned like if we can get it done, if the business is there, if we can make it happen.
Right.
How frustrating is that from a fighter standpoint of having to have all those things behind the scenes go on when it's like you just want to compete?
It's definitely frustrating, man. Just imagine what Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder are going through right now. Deontay Wilder probably over it. The whole Anthony Joshua thing, that was probably something he had high expectations for. He couldn't wait for it to happen when everybody's speaking on it. He was even lowballing himself on the financial side to accept money that he probably even thought he deserved much more to make the fight happen. And it still wasn't happening, man. Now he's basically over it, man. And, I mean, it can get frustrating, but at the end of the day, we fighters, and that's all we really want to do is fight. But at the same time, sometimes the business is more important and it has to make more sense.
Yeah, obviously that would be something like if anything you wish you could change, right? I would assume.
Right. Of course, man. I wish it was that easy where two people could just agree and get everything they ask for, but sometimes it don't work like that.
Yeah, no doubt. So one of the things that's also kind of interesting to me is how you got your nickname. For some people that haven't heard that story, can you can you lay that out there for us?
Swift.
Oh yeah, man. It's funny because I was turning professional the day I came at home. I said I need me a nickname now. I'm a professional now. What is going to be? So we in the house. Me and this is my time. My younger brother was turning professional too. We was thinking of names, and my mother came home with a list. We had names there like Jarrett, 24 Karat, Hurd, Jarrett, Absurd, Hurd. We just thinking of wild things, man. And we didn't come up with a name that night. So the next morning on that Sunday, I started cleaning up. And I grabbed a Swift wet jet. And then we in the kitchen, my mom cooking. I'm playing around. I say, man, you know what, Mom? I'm going to name my name. It's going to be Swift. And she like, Swift? Why you say Swift? And I said, because I clean up. You see what I'm doing right now? I'm in the house cleaning up the floor, playing around and stuff. But, man, I really stuck with a name. But the funny thing is, Swiffer is spelled Swiffer. I was going to name my Swift with the, Swiff. But my mother ain't like that. She said, "No, you ain't walking around with no ghetto name like that." I said, "All right, I'm gonna make it Swift with the T."
So we already know if you have a kid, who gonna be naming the kid and spelling it?
Right, there you go.
Mama Hurd said, "No, we ain't having it. We ain't
having that. Nah.
Did she hit you with if you want to do that nickname, you better get your own roof?
Yeah. It's crazy too, man, because Mom Deuce was like, I had the 25, whatever I'm doing with the sport of boxing. I was 22 at the age I turned pro, and then when I hit 26, I became world champion. So that's a miraculous story in itself, man.
So do you think you're the best fighter in the PBC stable?
Of course. Come on, man. The world just haven't seen it yet. I don't have the prettiest style. I don't have the fastest hands. I don't have the best footwork. But one thing for sure, I know how to win, and I know that it may not look like I have the type of boxing IQ as many others, but I'm not just in there fighting. I come with game plans. I know what I'm in there doing. It's just all it is going to take time for fighters to recognize, the skill set that I do have. It's different. It's not like any other person. I think that's what makes me so tough to fight. That I'm not your average fighter that walks in the gym every day, that throws a basic 1, 2, 3 shot punches that everyone used to seeing. I come in there and do awkward things. People say I look like I'm arm punching, and I'm always coming 12 rounds in shape. Not throwing the basic 1, 2, 3. I'm punching sometimes in a row with my right hand 4 or 5 times, throwing the same punches, different punches, and people not used to seeing that. So I think I got an advantage just from that point of view.
You think people sleep on how good of an athlete you are? Because I know in the Lara fight, that came in handy. That's why people were saying he couldn't run, because you cutting that ring off on his ass.
Right, there you go, man. People didn't notice that. And another thing that was so killing that Lara fight, that was a major key for me, was the left hook to the body. I was throwing the left hook to the body all day. And what people didn't see is that was causing him to drop his hands every round lower and lower. And that's why I was able to land a big left hand in the last round and for me to win the fight.
And staying with the PBC thing, would it be a undercover dream fight to you clear out 154 and wait for Mr. Spence to clear out 147 and let him come up and you have a champion versus championship fight like 3 years down the line?
What, me and Spence?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, listen, that's something that I always in the talks too, because you got to think about this. Earl Spence is with the Dallas Cowboys, right? I just became an ambassador for the Redskins.
I'll see you got my show.
Hey, look,
you got my show.
Yep.
There you go.
Jarrett Hurd, everybody. Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's Cowboys Nation over here. You know what it is.
Oh, man. Nah, man. You got to give it the skins, man. You see where that's going, man. That's a big headline with itself, a rivalry with itself. So I love to fight with Earl Spence. He got a lot of stuff to do at 147 though. him moving up is probably not in the near future, but that would make a exciting fight.
Would you ever come to Dallas and fight at Cowboy Stadium? Come in enemy territory?
I mean, it all depends if it makes sense. Like the business side got to make sense. If it all makes sense, then I definitely would.
That's dope. What did you think about that fight? Fight Mikey, moving up, you know, being a much smaller guy. What do you think about that?
Hey, listen, I didn't underestimate Earl Spence, but one thing for sure, I did think too highly of Mikey Garcia.
Didn't being a boxing peers, didn't it surprise you that people didn't realize like you don't just show up in the Olympics and then like, well, Earl's a really great boxer. Like he didn't just show up in the Olympics. If he was an Olympian, I could see people being shocked. But he was.
What it is, man, when you hear somebody like a Mikey Garcia in his caliber say something like, man, in his last fight or his fight with Lamar Peterson, I saw something. I want this fight. You really got to believe that. Like, okay, let's see what Mikey's saying, that when he go into this fight with Earl Spence, he going to show us something that he's seen. And for him to go out there to show us absolutely nothing, I mean, I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? I expected to see some type of weakness or whatever it is he saw on Earl Spence. I didn't see anything. And for those who think that in that fight, side played a part, that ain't had nothing to do with side. That was just Earl Spence pure skills. He didn't use his side to win the fight. He dominated with all skills.
And that leads me to the next question. What are you gonna do to get your hand raised on May 11th?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go out there and stop Julie Williams, man. You know, and I'm not saying that because I'm gonna go out there and look for the knockout. I just feel like the level that I competed on and the type of style I have, that all 12-round action-packed, that engine I got on me, I feel like it's not going to be Julie Williams not going to be able to hold up all 12 rounds, and I'm going to be able to get the stoppers.
Boom. Yeah, man, can't wait for it. Can't wait to see it go down, man. I'm excited, man. I'm looking for that 24th.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. You already know.
Absolutely.
Man, we appreciate you coming on. I know this is not your personality. You're kind of shy guy. You just want to fight and go about your business. So we greatly appreciate you coming on, man. I'm glad we hooked up out there in the Wilder Fury fight we chopped up at the hotel.
Oh yeah, you already know, man. You know, I'm trying to open up a little more to sell myself and get the fans the guy that I really am. I am kind of quiet. I let the hands do the talking, but the sport I am in now, I got to open up and let the fans connect with me and be a little more vocal.
And so after you get your win over J-Rock, you're going to come back on. We have a thing on our show. You ball, you get the call. So we expect you to ball May 11th, so you got to come back on so you can talk about your handiwork.
All right, that's a bet, man. Hey, look, let me know. You know I'm in here. I got you.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on the show, man. This was awesome.
Most definitely, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Oh,